Welcome to Around San Diego. So glad to have you with me. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on some of our top stories and look ahead in just 30 minutes. So we do begin with video taken in the middle of the night that shows a man sneaking around a home rented by several female students at San Diego State University. The women were awake and saw a motion light turn on, alerting them to the stranger outside of their back door. CBS 8's Steve Price joins us from the college area with the details and the concerns from those neighbors.
A guy caught on camera lurking outside a home occupied by several San Diego State co-eds.
That video was taken at 3 in the morning. Two of my roommates were actually still awake and they had the curtain open. So I think he could kind of see in there and see them in there. And as
this student, who asked not to be identified, sent us the video from her home. She thinks the only thing that scared him away were the motion lights turning on.
I think he definitely would have tried to get in that door, which is definitely terrifying.
It's the second time in 3 weeks that she's captured a creeper on camera. The first was a guy looking into her bedroom window.
It's very scary. Surprising.
These two neighbors, who also asked not to be identified, had heard there was a peeping Tom spotted near school, but says neither the university nor the police told them it happened on their block. They didn't find out until today when we told them.
I wish they told us like it was our street maybe so we could take more caution, but we had no idea.
Making a bad situation worse, the streetlights in their neighborhood don't work. Haven't since they moved in. And when other neighbors reported it on the city's Get It Done app, they were told it would take nearly a year to fix.
And I just don't see why it's not a priority to protect the students.
Neighborhood crime is definitely a concern around here. We noticed several police cars while we were working on our story, and this student says she unexpectedly found out why.
We heard some commotion going on and we look and there's a guy running through our backyard, kind of stumbling over, falling, dropping stuff, and he hopped back over our fence. And then we come outside and there's a police car out front and saying oh, he's a robber, and we're like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that was our Steve Price there reporting. Meantime, a North County woman is behind bars after being accused of attempting to hire a hitman to murder her estranged husband. According to the Sheriff's Department, 42-year-old Tatiana Remley hired a hitman between July and August, around the same time that she filed for divorce. An undercover detective met with Tatiana, where she allegedly provided information on how she wanted her husband killed. In her divorce filing, she accused her husband of being physically and verbally abusive, but her estranged husband, Mark Remley, denies those allegations. Now Tatiana Remley is being held behind bars with no bail. She is due back in court on October 6th. And one person was killed after being hit by a train in the Bay Park neighborhood. It happened just after 3:30 Monday afternoon near Morena Boulevard and Tecolote Road. This is the second fatal train versus pedestrian incident in just 24 hours. There was then a third after that. A man was killed by a coaster commuter train in the Middleton area on Sunday. The San Diego Sheriff's Department is investigating all three of those incidents. Now, with an increase in migrants at the border, recent groups of asylum seekers are being seen lining up at the border between Tijuana and San Diego. Sunday, groups of migrants could be seen gathering behind the border wall. Immigration rights advocates say that there are a few factors playing into this recent rise. Migrants are being asked to use the CBP app to start the asylum seeking process. However, many of their phones don't have that technology to use it. Also, language barriers pose a problem, and we are told that that app is only in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole.
So there are a lot of errors that people are seeing with the application, and it's just not the right way to welcome people with dignity when they're fleeing harm. People should be able to show up, and it's their legal right to show up at a port or wherever it might be and say, I want to start an asylum claim.
Yeah, once asylum seekers are in the U.S., temporary housing has been hard to find, and many migrant shelters are at capacity. Advocates want the federal government to supply more resources so that organizations can keep up with the demand. Well, right now, San Diego water customers are flooding CBS 8 with stories of being hit by bills for thousands of dollars after not being sent a bill for years. We've been working for you and uncovered that the city is now investigating up to 28,000 water bills for things like high and low water usage, misread or broken water meters, or suspected leaks. Yet, as the department investigates, people are not notified. Bills are withheld. And if you log on to the city's website to pay your bill, you very well could see a zero balance until you get a hefty bill in the mail. We spoke with council member Marnie Von Wilpert. She says the water department is failing and needs to do better.
I have asked at every budget hearing, what is it that the water department needs to fix this issue? What technology? What phone systems? We as a city council have authority over the budget. We will give it to you. We're raising employee pay. We're doing better on recruitment and retention. They have to fix this. And I'm sick of hearing the same excuses over and over. It's not fair to our residents, and it needs to change.
Yeah, so an auditor's report showed these same problems back in 2018. Last week, we sat down exclusively with San Diego's water department director to find out why things are so broken and not getting fixed. He says overhauling a department and keeping it running for hundreds of thousands of people is a challenge. You can see that full interview on CBS8.com. Well, Monday, healthcare workers across California were rallying for Labor Day. Around 200 workers from local hospitals gathered at Griffin Park in La Mesa to have their message heard. They are calling for better working conditions and higher pay. They say worker burnout is very real and staffing shortages are taking a toll.
These companies, these corporations, these hospitals, they bet on the fact that you are a good person. They bet that you will stretch yourselves thin to answer every call, like to go into every room, to do everything you have to do because you actually care about these patients.
Yeah, so a key contract deadline for healthcare workers hits at the end of the month. CBS 8 received a statement from Kaiser that says they are confident they will reach an agreement before then. Well, we are seeing an uptick in COVID cases across the U.S. According to the CDC, COVID-related hospitalizations have been inching upwards over the past few weeks. The good news, though, the latest COVID-19 variant may not be too vicious this fall. According to two teams of U.S. scientists, people who are vaccinated appear to be able to fight off what is the BA 2.86, that new variant. This matches the findings in China and Sweden. The CDC recommends that people who catch COVID-19 should isolate for at least 5 days, wear a mask until testing negative twice over a 2-day period, and keep up to date with vaccinations. Well, more now on a game changer in the fight to reduce the skyrocketing number of opioid overdoses. Beginning this week, Narcan is now available at local grocery stores and drugstores all over the counter. Naloxone, commonly known as Narcan, can be used to safely reverse an opioid overdose. It is a life-saving tool that stores like Walmart and Rite Aid are now selling on stores and online without the need for a prescription. Some anti-drug advocates say that offering Narcan over the counter may reduce the stigma that is sometimes associated with it.
If it's the only way it's going to get in these people's hands, as many ways as we can provide it as possible, because it should be everywhere.
Over-the-counter Narcan retails for about $45 for 2 doses. And this week, San Diego leaders and experts worked together to prevent more fentanyl overdoses from happening. They hosted a workshop to discuss the overdose crisis and awareness about the dangers of fentanyl and counterfeit pills. More than 1,700 people have died from fentanyl in San Diego County just since 2019. One of those deaths was a local high school student. You see there, Kai Atasalap. That happened in July of this year, and his father was there at the event. Well, a pilot is dead after his plane crashed during a gender reveal in Mexico. We do want to warn you that the video is disturbing. Yes, so it happened over the weekend in San Pedro, a city in northeast Mexico. The plane crashed shortly after dropping that pink smoke on the couple. It's unclear exactly what caused that wing to give out. The pilot was the only person on board. He died there at the hospital. Well, the annual summer moratorium for street vendors was lifted on Tuesday. Vendors were banned from areas like Mission Beach, Ocean Beach, La Jolla, and Balboa Park from Memorial Day to Labor Day. The San Diego City Council passed the ban last year. Some vendors have found a loophole in the ordinance that allows them to claim they are exempt from following it because of the First Amendment. So again, that moratorium has been lifted. Well, employment assistance is the #1 request for military members adjusting to civilian life. CBS 8's Brian White shows us one nonprofit here in San Diego making a difference for servicemen and women transitioning out of the military.
It's incredibly rewarding. I can't imagine doing anything else.
Todd Yates is Area Manager West for Hire Heroes USA, which has an office in Liberty Station. They're a nonprofit focused on empowering veterans and their spouses to succeed in the civilian workforce.
Everyone goes through those same challenges when it comes to getting out of the military and figuring out how to translate that experience and figuring out how to make that next step.
Yates served in the Navy for 21 years as a rescue swimmer and helicopter air crewman. Retiring in 2018, he remembers the challenges he faced during the transition.
I hadn't done an actual job interview in over 21 years, and I was familiar with social media, but I wasn't really familiar with LinkedIn.
Then he heard about Hire Heroes USA and all the free help they provide to veterans, and he was floored by it.
I was absolutely shocked that not only would they write me a resume and help me with LinkedIn for free, but they also helped with career coaching and with tailoring the resume and helped with cover letters.
And when a job opportunity arose to actually work for the nonprofit helping veterans like himself, Todd jumped at the chance, and he's helped about 1,000 veterans and spouses here in San Diego find jobs.
I wanted to help people pursue their dreams and do what they want to do.
Hire Heroes USA receives funding in part from the Call of Duty Endowment, a 501c3 that shares the same mission, placing as many vets as possible into high-quality jobs.
If you have a high-quality job, you can put a roof over your head, you have access to high-quality benefits, you have a better situation in terms of having colleagues around, which is better for mental health. And ultimately, probably most importantly, you have a sense of purpose.
And for Todd, who's been through it himself, he wants fellow veterans to know there is plenty of free help out there to assist with their transition.
Don't pay for these services. There's organizations out there to really help veterans and spouses, find not just employment, but meaningful employment.
For more information on the services they provide, head to CBS8.com. I'm Brian White for CBS 8.
Yeah, nice to share some good news with you once in a while, right? Here's more. An eye clinic in Pennsylvania is encouraging kids to feel comfortable with glasses on. To help them adjust, the clinic uses a cool cat named Truffles. She models glasses for kids as to show them that there's really nothing to fear. Jan Crawford with this sweet story.
Show me the apple. Good job.
In her spare time, Truffles the kitty knows a lot of tricks.
Can you give me a high five for that? Awesome.
But she's got an important day job. She models glasses for kids.
Kids just really related to her right from the very beginning.
At this Pennsylvania eye clinic, kids are excited to copy this rescue cat who loves wearing one of her 25 pairs of glasses.
What are we missing generally with kids and vision?
I feel like the moment a child gets glasses is such an important moment in their life, and it's always been my goal that I create a positive and fun memory.
Fingers crossed. A quarter of kids like Joella have a vision issue that goes undiagnosed, and it's not always fun for kids who feel different or find doctors scary. That's where Truffles comes in.
Truffles and Joella, they both are different. And they both have a heart to help.
Kids all over the world now look to Truffles.
How does Truffles look?
An online sensation to show them how it's done.
Thank you, Truffles.
But for all her good works, at heart, she's a cat.
She kind of seems like she owns the place.
She definitely must feel like she owns the place.
Jan Crawford, CBS News, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
How cute, right? And I like that the cat doesn't mind him. Just darling and good for the kids. All right, well, Meals on Wheels is helping out a different group of San Diegans this week. Seniors who want to remain independent and live on their own. The charity has delivered hundreds of thousands of meals across the county, but there's certainly a lot more to Meals on Wheels. CBS 8's Alex Kleinman rode along with one volunteer to see how the charity is really building a sense of community.
For thousands of seniors living in San Diego County, Meals on Wheels is a vital lifeline. But the charity offers more than just a meal. It offers a friendly face and a sense of community.
Good morning, Meals on Wheels.
Thank you so much.
Charlotte Rubin has been volunteering with Meals on Wheels for over a year, but it doesn't feel like work to her.
I can't think of anything else you do where you know that every single person you talk to is going to say thank you. We appreciate you.
And if you ask the people who get meals from Charlotte, they say they don't do it for the food. Meals on Wheels is about taking care of each other.
The famous lady's here today.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
At 92 years old, Mary O'Malley depends on Meals on Wheels 5 days a week. The meals are a big help, especially since she's recovering from a heart attack last year.
I don't cook. And if the kids all are gone to work or not here, they know I'm getting a hot meal at noon, and also someone checks on me.
But the food isn't what she looks forward to the most.
I don't get it for the food. It's the wonderful people coming in.
Now a massive new grant is allowing Meals on Wheels to help out thousands of new people. San Diego Gas and Electric recently gave Meals on Wheels $500,000 through its Community Assistance Fund. Brent Wakefield, president and CEO of Meals on Wheels in San Diego County, says this is their largest grant ever.
I can't tell you how happy I was when I received the news. I about jumped out of my skin.
Right now, Meals on Wheels helps out about 2,000 seniors every day, but there are still many more people who need help.
Meals on Wheels provides a service that allows seniors to stay in their homes and to be more independent.
Brent says that San Diego's senior population will increase from about 650,000 people right now to nearly 1 million in 2030. This grant will help out in two big areas. One, it will allow Meals on Wheels to expand and serve more people, especially in underrepresented parts of the county.
We've been able to map the hidden hungry in San Diego County, and there are parts of the county where not even 2% of the need is being met, and that's alarming.
And two, this money will help with community outreach, spreading the word about what Meals on Wheels can do.
We need everybody, so it's a community undertaking, and the PSA dollars from SDG&E are going to be instrumental in getting the word out there.
Brent says that many volunteers are surprised by how rewarding it is to give back.
Volunteers often they'll tell you, I get a lot more out of this than the client I'm delivering the meal to.
Charlotte feels the same way and plans to keep volunteering as long as she can.
Yeah, why would I stop?
Alex Kleinman, CBS 8.
Oh, just heartwarming, truly. Alex, thank you for shedding such light on an important organization. They do incredible work. Well, did you see this? Thousands are now free from the Nevada desert after days of being trapped by muddy, impassable roads. The main gates at the Burning Man Festival are now open, and a line of vehicles are working their way to the nearest paved road. This year, organizers are urging people to stagger their departures. Even in regular years, it can take up to 12 hours to get out of there. These people have been trapped on the festival grounds after 2 months worth of rain fell in just one day. Well, San Diego is already a top destination to visit, so it's no surprise people came here to celebrate Labor Day. And businesses are using it as a chance to bring in extra money ahead of the slower winter months. Places like hotels, restaurants, and retailers are seeing an increase in all that revenue.
Just the 3 nights that Labor Day encompasses and the weekend encompasses, really, it brought in about $87 million more in economic impact than on any other 3-day span throughout the rest of September.
Boy, that's great. Great for the economy. So in July, San Diego was the #1 destination to visit in the U.S. according to hotel occupancy. And locals and people visiting from across the globe, of course, enjoyed our beaches on Labor Day. But some beach trips actually were a bit of a bust. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen spent the holiday along the coast, hitting 4 different beaches across the county with a look at the fun and frustrations.
Yes, it's beautiful sunny weather and clear skies. I checked out Imperial Beach, Del Mar Beach, Oceanside, and Mission Beach to see how locals and tourists are spending the holiday.
People from all over the map are visiting beaches across San Diego on this Labor Day. Unfortunately, at some local beaches, visitors got an unexpected surprise. These signs notifying people of contaminated waters are still posted at Imperial Beach.
It stops me from going in all the way. You know, I'll go in just a waist deep, and it's a shame. I mean, you know, it's a shame that nothing is being done about this, that it has lasted as long as it has, and that we still can't enjoy our beaches to the fullest.
Harrison Harker is visiting from Utah, and he agrees.
It'd be nice if they had it cleaned up, but until then, I just gotta keep playing in what I have, you know. Definitely been worried about getting like an ear infection or something, but I mean, I only get one chance, you know, I'm only here for one Labor Day.
Yet he's making the most of it, playing volleyball instead, while others, despite the risks, are surfing and skimboarding.
I think everyone's just out here to have a good time. So you hang out with people, meet new people on the beach, and everyone's just taking it chill. Can't beat it. It's there's snow in Utah right now, so yeah, can't beat it.
In Oceanside, people participated in the Oceanside Labor Day Pier Swim. And in Del Mar and Mission Beach, it's packed. And here, people are sunbathing and are able to swim in the water safely.
I love San Diego. Me and my wife and my son, we moved here, and we don't want to leave San Diego. There's no words I can put to describe this. You know, my first language is French, so it's magnifique.
I love it here.
Happy Labor Day.
Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
It was definitely beautiful out there. And hey, also on Monday, hundreds of San Diegans participated in the 94th annual Labor Day Pier Swim in Oceanside. There were swimmers as young as 12 years old to swimmers in their 80s. The group started on the beach, then ran out to the water to swim 1 mile around the pier before making their way back to the beach.
The beginning is kind of like a bull rush because there's just everyone is around you all the time. Didn't get kicked in the face, so that was a win. Current was tough though; those are big waves coming in both ways. And the last bit of run on the sand is probably that was the hardest part. Was probably that last run in.
Too funny. All right, well, Monday's event broke the all-time attendance record with more than 650 people getting out there to swim. Well, you may have heard about this, and you certainly might like your morning cup of coffee with cream and sugar, but what about mushrooms? It could be the new health craze. Megan Bragg is looking into its benefits and verifies whether or not you should be making the switch.
In the last few years, mushrooms have really made a name for themselves. You may have seen more and more products containing the fungi. You could even see it in your coffee now. Viewer Kendall W. emailed us asking if the hype about mushroom coffee is real and what are the pros and cons of drinking mushroom coffee versus regular coffee. So let's get the facts. Our sources, family physician Dr. Carla Robinson, the Cleveland Clinic, and a study published in the National Library of Medicine. When looking at many mushroom coffee ingredients, they include these 3 types of mushrooms. According to a study published in the National Library of Medicine, these mushrooms have been used for medicinal purposes in several countries. Some benefits include strengthening immune systems, lowering blood pressure, and inflammation. But do they work in coffee form?
The jury is still out on this one.
The Cleveland Clinic states not enough research has been conducted to really understand if the benefits come through in coffee form.
What we don't know is once it's processed and then brewed, if you still retain those same properties.
Dr. Robinson, however, says it doesn't hurt to drink the coffee. However, mushrooms alone could have a better benefit.
For anyone who's really looking for a true health boost,
I say it's probably safer at this point to just stick to, adding mushrooms into your salad, or maybe adding them into your diet in another way, or maybe supplement-wise.
Another thing to think about is the price. This bag of mushroom coffee is double the price of your standard regular bag of coffee. The Cleveland Clinic also notes sometimes mushrooms can cause digestive issues, especially if you have kidney issues or trouble with grains. So they suggest talking to your doctor if you have those sensitivities. Either way, Dr. Robinson says mushrooms have many benefits, but more research needs to be done to really understand if the true benefits are in full effect when they are in coffee form. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
Yeah, it's interesting because I have been seeing a lot about it, so I'd have to try it. This is so cool. Cirque du Soleil show Corteo is returning to San Diego for the first time since 2008. So as we take you in the Zevely zone, Jeff heads to Palm Desert, where the show played last week, for the very first look at what's now heading our way.
That's right, we were invited to Palm Desert for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at a show that'll have you jumping for joy. Welcome to Corteo! If you've ever wanted to lose yourself in a world of imagination, Cirque du Soleil's Corteo feels like a 2-hour daydream.
You have to be at the top of your game, that's for sure.
As a child, Betsy Allison never dreamed she'd be allowed to jump on a bed for a living. You have a San Diego connection.
I do. I was born there, yes. Lived there for a few years.
Betsy has family and friends coming to see the show in San Diego on what will be her birthday. Send your mom and dad a message right now.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Good to see you.
Enchantingly death-defying, this show has amazed over 10 million people in 20 countries. We're behind the scenes here.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to dress me up?
I can.
Kat Duvall dresses 53 artists a night who are constantly testing the limits of fabric. If pants split, you've got a seamstress ready to roll.
Oh, I have a full amazing team to help and to do emergency, to think outside of the box, to make magic happen.
How fun is your job?
It's super fun. It's why we do it.
Corteo will present 7 shows at the Pechanga Arena, and we saw firsthand how it takes heaven and earth to move this powerful production from town to town. 9 live musicians, a wardrobe with 2,500 costume pieces, and 5 beautiful balloons. Is there pressure to nail it?
There is.
John Busey has traveled the world with Cirque. He's never performed in San Diego, but he has seen the movie Anchorman. Yeah, I think you should say I'm a really big deal.
I'm a really big deal, yeah.
At least he'll feel that way when his cousin, who lives in San Diego, watches him fly through the air. We'll say hello to him.
What's up, Teddy?
Everybody has a San Diego connection.
Oh, yeah?
Always. In the Zevely zone, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Yeah, it's so true. Everyone has some kind of San Diego connection. So Corteo opens at the Pechanga Arena Wednesday night and runs through Sunday. For ticket information, visit the Zevely Zone page at cbs8.com. Well, as always, thank you for your time. Thank you for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. We'll be back next week with more. Until then, take good care.